Beneath the river's surface, undercurrents surged. The mother hippo, clutching her calf tightly to her side, plunged into the shallows. The river bend teemed with crocodiles. Rows of backs and eyes peeked above the water like wet, massive boulders. Adult hippos are rarely attacked. Their thick skin and explosive power instill fear in most predators. But the calf is different. Its lungs are smaller, its skin more delicate, and its turning slower. Every crocodile knows this fatal weakness. The mother hippo, determined to cross the river freely, chose this spot. The shallow, warm lake on the opposite bank was a nursery for the calf. The hippo followed the waterways worn into the mud by years of walking. Even though the river was full of silt, instinct guided it onto this path. The crocodiles in front quickly moved aside. The mother and her aunt's broad shoulders formed a mobile barrier. The mother hippo charged, forcefully pushing aside the crocodiles, carving out a narrow passage. The crocodiles were forced back, their bodies tucked in. The baby hippo frequently surfaced, nuzzling its mother for air before diving back down. The crocodiles lowered their bodies, tails braced, their eyes fixed on the mother and baby. One slowly shifted to test the distance, while another waited for the opening. The mother hippo swung her head violently, charging again, the water churning and shaking. The crocodiles never attacked rashly, patiently waiting for an opening. But she never gave them a chance to learn her lesson. The baby clung tightly to its mother's thigh, never leaving her side. The commotion on the surface and the baby's faint, panicked cries attracted more crocodiles. Backs and whirlpools appeared all around. The mother hippo opened her massive jaws, emitting a menacing roar. Sharp fangs, gleaming coldly, swung with all their might. The hippopotamus roared and honked, its heavy bellow echoing the car horn. The current in the middle of the river grew increasingly turbulent. The crocodile changed tactics, no longer directly tearing at flesh, but trying to create space between mother and child. The baby hippo occasionally climbed briefly along its mother's back, using the height to catch its breath and create a small distance. The crocodile seized the opportunity to slip between mother and child, attempting to completely separate them. The mother hippo roared and charged forward at full speed, her heavy skull breaking through the water. The risk escalated, and the crocodile grew bolder. The mother hippo repeatedly slammed into the riverbed, pushing aside the crocodiles and roaring, the sound carrying to the distant reeds. But it couldn't block all attack routes simultaneously. Its fangs grazed flesh, but failed to lock, and as it slammed into the skull, they slipped away in an instant. The mother hippo immediately, the hippopotamus slammed its jaws down, blocking the attack. The crocodile struck, rolled backward. A dull thud echoed as bones clashed. Water splashed everywhere. The hippopotamus's massive size disrupted its attack angle. The crocodile pack rearranged its formation. A second, low, swift attack followed. With another sudden jolt, it disappeared into the murky mud. The mother hippopotamus unleashed a burst of power, turning on the spot and biting down hard on the crocodile's shoulder. Its snout lifted the crocodile, slamming it heavily into the water. The cracking of bones mingled with the exploding mud and foam. The wounded crocodile retaliated, tearing at the hippopotamus's snout. Bubbles rose continuously. The river was briefly still. Then, a baby hippo gasped for breath and surfaced. The baby hippo was alive, but a crocodile held fast to its front legs. The mother hippopotamus charged forward with all her might, biting down on the crocodile's vulnerable back of the head, continuing to apply pressure with her bite. Alligator flesh torn apart. The fish, writhing in agony, releases its grip in a fleeting moment. The alligators repeat their tactic of separation, using the narrow waterway and their own weight to restrict the mother hippo's turning, constantly pulling the calf away from its mother. In a mere instant, the calf is completely separated from its mother. The defense line collapses. Fangs and blue scales lock onto the target. Short, violent struggles erupt on the river's surface. The alligators prioritize biting soft spots, quickly restricting their prey's movement. avoiding the mother hippo's devastating impact. This time, the mother's protective barrier finally crumbles. Though it may be able to hold the barrier, when it is breached by multiple forces, there is no turning back. The river never favors any side, only the swift current, hordes of predators, and the mother's desperate struggle to protect her calf in the narrow, safe zone. This river tells the same survival story day after day. The only way for a cub to survive is to stay close to its mother. Magnetic hippos keep their newborns close to their mothers, noses touching, for quick breathing. Even with obstructed vision, they can stay with their mothers. Lions are a huge threat on land, especially to lone or injured adult hippos. Deep water is the hippo's trump card for self-defense. A quick turn and dive into deep water can thwart most lion attacks. In rivers, biting the river is the absolute rule. Lions are aware of the risks and actively retreat, always staying close to the water, avoiding narrow cliffs, and firmly occupying deep water areas. This is the survival wisdom of hippos in repelling lion prides. Underwater is their safe territory. Lions only tread the water's edge. Although they can swim, they will never fight in the water. In deep water, their claws have nowhere to strike, so their feet. Losing their support, the lion's proud strength is reduced to futile paddling. Their advantage lies only on solid land. The riverbed strips them of all leverage. This body of water is dominated by hippos. Any predator that enters the water by the chest will quickly realize the reality and hold onto the bank or be driven away. When rainfall is scarce, the riverbed splits into 4 sections, and the continuous puddles turn into scattered water droplets. The riverbed splits into 4 sections, and the tributaries completely dry up. The edges of the mudflats are as hard as clay, while the middle is a mushy mess. Hundreds of hippos are crammed into the muddy ditches, their mouths and noses pressed against the hindquarters of the one in front of them. They have to coordinate their breathing, taking turns to surface for air before sinking back down to make room for their companions. Dehydration causes their skin to crack. The mud provides only temporary relief and cannot insulate them from the oppressive heat. Red mucus secreted from their bodies covers their skin. Dust clings to their backs and ears, swatting away insects. Mother hippos with their calves try to occupy the outer edges of the water, making it easy to retreat to deeper waters for safety. Crowded mud frogs easily breed diseases, causing wounds to fester. Warm, dirty water induces eye infections, leading to clouding and blindness. Some hippos die from being trampled, while others perish on the long journey between their last pastures and waterholes. Scavengers and predators reap the benefits. A heavy rain can wash away all traces of death, but the dry season also brings hippo populations together. The dry season compresses all living space. A river bend, a muddy path, a shrinking waterhole can all turn daily foraging into a life-or-death crisis. When the rainy season arrives, the hippos, with heavy steps, slowly make their way to the river bend, gradually reshaping the survival map of the entire water area.